This is the next in our series over the holiday weeks of solutions videos, ideas that I want to put out there and proposals that I want to make. And this concerns labor law and the workplace. Under the Obama administration, there was a feeling that government could impose its will on business just simply by passing a law or promulgating a regulation, and that nothing mattered. They would have to obey it. They'd have to follow it. Competition from other countries, from other companies, the economic realities, the effect of these regulations on our ability to continue to produce jobs and to pay workers decently, none of this mattered to the administration. If it looked good, if it sounded good, go do it. And the one thing these all had in common is none of them cost the government a dime. None of these were monies raised by taxation from the entire body politic, which was spent on objectives that concerned the citizenry. Instead, it was something that wasn't important enough for government to pay for, but was important enough to make private business pay for. And the result is that it created an atmosphere in which job creation was very hard. Businesses didn't know what they were getting into. When they hired somebody, they could be getting into a form of employer slavery in which they really would have no choice and no control over their economic destiny. One of the most pernicious of these was the overtime rule that basically said that it expanded the number of people that were covered by the Labor Department rule that required the payment of overtime. It had earlier been for people making less than $20,000, menial and hourly workers. And now they expanded it to $50,000 and dramatically expanded the number of workers that were covered. And what they're really doing is converting professionals and management personnel into hourly employees who have to get time and a half for the hours they put in beyond a certain amount. It called for a regimentation, a categorization, and elimination of distinctions, kind of a deprofessionalization of the workforce, and forced a form of compensation that might not be the one that's best for the business or best for the workers in a time and a half for overtime. In addition, the whole movement toward workplace rules. I believe that President Clinton was right for mandatory family and medical leave policies that required businesses to give workers time off for dealing with their illness or the illness of loved ones or pregnancy or childbirth and all of that stuff. Those were unpaid leaves, but you always got your position back and you could never be punished for taking the leave. Now they want to force businesses to pay for it and to force paid leave. Some are proposing paid vacations as mandatory. And all of these are just great. Let the politician make the businesses pay it, because they don't have the courage to, and they can get the political credit for it, but the economic burden falls on business. But then you wonder why jobs don't get created, why good jobs don't get created, why there's so much outsourcing, why foreign countries that don't have these requirements, particularly in Asia, are able to beat us blind in competition, all because of these regulations imposed by the administration. And finally, you have the changes in labor laws, which make it almost impossible for a business to defeat a union in a union election. The union, under the new rules, can call the election anytime it wants. Management has to do it within 7 days. The union can spend years preparing for the election and then hit it when it calls the election and management is caught flat-footed. And there isn't an opportunity to give workers the real facts and give them the case against unionization, which they should consider. Remember, the vast bulk of jobs that were eliminated in the manufacturing sector have been union jobs, even though the unions account for only about 1/10 of manufacturing sector employees. Employees should have the right to say no to the union, particularly if it means unemployment down the road, and Obama would strip them of it. So I look forward to the Trump administration remedying these ills and moving ahead with really aggressive creation of good, high-paying jobs. Thanks for watching.